So we have Sonos case here. So previously we understood about the Spotify. So the Spotify is more towards the streaming platform, whereas the Sonos, the core competency is light into the optimize the playback in multimedia rooms, and they are expert in the making the smart speakers, wireless speakers. So there are multiple mega trends are available in the music industry, and in view of this one, we have identified three mega trends in terms of the Sonos as a platform. So we will discuss now these three mega trends in terms of relevant IP rights in use case for optimal and easy setup of speaker system. So my colleague Kristen will further discuss about the experience economy.
So yeah, why did we pick these three? First of all, experience economy. Actually, music availability at home is nothing new, but the novelty proposed by Sonos is to really experience music in a new way, creating a new experience. Then ubiquitous availability, obviously having speakers well installed in different rooms of the house allows to create a kind of own ecosystem of music at home. And with that, you have a unique access control through different personal devices, for example, a smartphone. And the third one is about increased comfort. It's really all meant to be effortless. You get music without any effort, without any action, not touching any device, easy connection, individual preferences. The other mega trends also have some level of relevance, of course, but we felt that they had a lower level of relevance. As an example, dematerialization would not be so relevant because Sonos business is still about hardware. They are still making money with the hardware, and the locking effect is all of the intangible benefits the customer is getting with these tangible assets. Well, I will hand over now to my next colleague to get into these use cases related to these mega trends.
So we discussed about the different use cases that we could imagine that would fit with the three mega trends we identified. Actually, there are some use cases that could be directly identified in connection with one mega trend, but most of them are in between, addressing several mega trends. So, for example, the increased comfort megatrend could be addressed by the kind of use case where I want to control the type of music and the volume without effort. That's something that Sonos speaker could manage, and this use case would only address this mega trend. Another thing that is inherent to Sonos product is the control of multi-room system, and it's also increasing the comfort. So addressing the big mega trend for the customers, and it's also addressing the ubiquitous availability, meaning that the core competency of Sonos is actually dealing with multi-room systems, audio systems, and so it's also increasing comfort and permitting, allowing ubiquitous availability of audio in a house or in a facility, for example. So this one is addressing two mega trends. In ubiquitous availability, we think also there would be the use case where I want that it is compatible with any source of music, like Deezer, Spotify, CD, radio, meaning that it's available everywhere. Because these platforms are streaming music, Deezer on Spotify. So that would be another use case for ubiquitous availability. Around the experience economy, which is really a very interesting megatrend. One thing that we could think about is a use case where, for example, I want the lighting of the rooms to adapt to the music played. Let's take an example. For example, I'm in a quiet place. I'm doing yoga. Or I'm working in a quiet environment. I would listen to quiet music. So the lighting of the room should accompany this mood and be low and not very energetic. By contrast, if I'm feeling happy and I'm listening to pop music or very energetic music, then the lighting of the room could adapt automatically to complement the mood of the music. So that would be directly linked to the experience of the user. Something which would be in between the experience economy and the increased comfort would be something like an optimal and easy setup of speaker system. Easy setup means great comfort, and an experience means that there would be, for example, just one button to set up the system by automatic echo recognition or adaptation of the speaker system, stuff like this. That would give a whole new experience of a setup of a system for the customer. Another thing would be also, I don't want to manage the power supply. So maybe thinking about new ways of power supplies for the system. So that this is addressing only 2 megatrends. And we have identified 3 use cases where actually the 3 megatrends would be addressed. One would be, for example, I want to automatically listen hi-fi music in several rooms of my house. So that's taking profit of the multi-room system. Another one is I want the music to follow me. For example, somebody is listening to music in one room and goes into the kitchen and then goes to the terrace on the garden, and the music is turning on and off and following the person in the house or in the facility. Another one would be I want the music to start when I enter the room. For example, you enter after a big day of work, you enter your house and there is a very nice music that you want to relax on. So that would be addressing the three megatrends we have identified for Sonos.
Thanks, Nico. Now we will come to the economic effect, to the appropriation of the returns, to the impact on the market and the function of IP that Sonos wants to achieve here. First, having a look to the economic effect, Sonos giving exclusivity to Sonos technology will allow them to charge customers with a price premium in the market. Then coming to the appropriation of the returns via IP protection, this will come through first the product sales. This is obvious, as selling their product is the direct way of appropriating the returns for Sonos. And then the commercialization support. If Sonos wants to protect substitute products, for example, or components to their product, then the returns will be appropriated via higher incomes of the sold product. Then coming to the impact on the market that Sonos wants to achieve with IP, it comes through one, the technology lead, as Sonos can gain important technological lead to competitors through the IP protection of the relevant technologies. And then the unique selling proposition, as the IP protection will be used by Sonos in communicating the product uniqueness in the market. And then when it comes to the function of the IP on Sonos technology, is when we look to the protection, protecting on products and processes such as a related app, then blocking and protecting as the hardware won't be used nor copied by competitors. Then licensing in or cross-license of IP will allow Sonos a better market penetration, generating extra incomes through this license. And then the reputation, as this reputation will improve Sonos company image and will allow them to promote their sales or maybe to motivate employees?
So we have seen the funnel from one side, and now we will see the funnel from the other side. So basically what we did just before is to start with the economic effect and to identify which of the function we want to have from our IP. And now on the next slide, we will see from the functions the associated step that will lead us to the economic effect, and splitting them basically into kind of families. And so this at the end of the next slide, we will have basically the function we want to achieve with our IP, and the later step will be to detail how to achieve these functions. So if we can have the next slide, please. Okay, so the first function that we want to achieve is, as mentioned before, blocking competition. This will allow to have a technology lead impact in the market, and this will also support the product sales, which is the main. I don't know if the slide is moving again, which is sorry. So the technology lead will help us to sell the Sonos product on the market with a price premium, as the competition will be not allowed to enter in this market. So when we are talking about the licensing in or cross, so this at the end of the next slide, we will licensing. We are here more referring to technology, the communication. So this Sonos product also work with communication technology, and therefore it's maybe not in the main area of the company or main field of the company to, for example, work with Bluetooth or other kind of telecommunication protocol, and therefore support main which Sonos product also work with. It's maybe not in the main area work with Bluetooth or protocol, and therefore partnering this kind of technology supplier or improve the available technology with a new invention, for example, related could allow to also cross-license with other technology suppliers. Having such high quality communication technology will support the unique selling proposition of the Sonos. Additional features from the technology communication. This will enable the product sales, because the product will be better compared to the competition, which will again lead to price premium. Thirdly, we have the protection function. So this is something we can see mainly on the hardware and on the application as well from Sonos. This would basically allow to avoid copy paste from competition, and this will lead to a unique selling proposition which will differentiate Sonos from the competition in the market. The appropriation linked to the protection will be both from the product sales, because it directly concerns the hardware, which is the main source of income, but it will also concern the commercialization support, as mentioned before, with the application. For example, having an application with, for example, a design or user experience that is protected will prevent the competition to have similar user experience in the application. Again, the effect will be price premium on the market. Lastly, on this slide, we can see that we are referring to the function of reputation. It's a high quality brand. Sonos has already a reputation, and it should be fed and maintained by the commercialization of new product and new services. This will also feed the brand loyalty and the image that Sonos goes through the market. This will be both be appropriated through the product and the commercialization support, as we can basically, with the image, the consumer will expect a certain level of quality, which will be deserved. So that's the commercialization support. And so when for example, the external design of the speaker is protected, this is also some appropriation that we get directly from the hardware, and therefore from the product sales. Again, these four functions will or should lead to price premium in the market. And now on the next slide, we will see how to generate these functions through different IP rights.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. Here we can see how the IP right more specifically related to the optimal and easy setup of the speaker system can be used, on which type of IP right we can use. We focus on three aspects: the communication technology, the app, on the speaker hardware. And we use a color code where is in yellow we have the patents, in orange we have the trademark, in green we have the design right, and in blue we have all what is related to copyright. So, first of all, related to patents, we can have patents on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi protocol that can be used to block or to do a protection against third party to avoid that they have the best communication technology. That can also be used in cross licensing in case we don't have all the patents related to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi protocol. We can try to enter in a cross-license agreement using our own patents. Regarding patents, also, we can have a number of patents related to speaker communication that will affect the hardware, the app, and the communication technology. For example, we can have a sound or echo analysis system to set sound on echo analysis that will be used to set up the system and obtain the best sound. Also related to pattern, we can have some related to improving the setup based of user direct feedback. That will be also related to the speaker-to-speaker communication. And last but not least, we will have patents related to the interface between the app and the speaker hardware. What will be very important also, that will be the trademark in order to allow the end user to know that they are using our system. And in this case, we can have a trademark to identify the system, a logo or slogan, whatever. We can also have sound trademark, for example, for the jingles that can be used to start the system or enter the different configuration mode of the system. The apps will be a very important aspect of the system because that will be how the user will interact with our system. So we can have a protection of the human-machine interface using design rights in order to have the best interface and to avoid third party using the same type of interface. We can also have copyright on the app of the software, for example, for the setup algorithm, and we can have also copyright on the database used to gather information from the user. Regarding speaker hardware, we can also use design right to have a protection of the overall design, for example, setup button, and so to protect and avoid third parties using the same design. Lastly, the communication technology can be protected using copyright. We can have a copyright of the implementation of the protocol in addition to the protection we can have using the patent on the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi protocol.